White background video? You bet! It's one of the most common questions that I get here on the channel. Brian, how do you create those fantastic white videos? What's behind you? Is that a wall? Is it paper? Is it a green screen? Brian, are you doing anything in your editing? Brian, what kind of lights are you using? All will be revealed. You dig?
Brian G. Johnson!
Hey, it's me, Brian G. Welcome back. High five. If you're new to the channel, you want to drive views, you want to gain subscribers, if you want to not just share your videos on YouTube, but amplify them, well, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6-step process that I used to craft and create this really awesome setup. This is the home studio. We've got whiteboards all over the place. We've got tons of light. Let's dive right in. The first step was to hook myself up with the Polaroid Pro telescopic, yeah, I said that right, photo kind of backdrop. And it's back here. It's big, okay? So what I've got is paper. It's actually, this has never happened, has it? This is like a behind the scenes. Come on. Now, you never want to be back here. See, look what happens. I'm way overexposed, and you can hear that, and I'm also kind of far away. We'll talk more about like the setup, the tips and whatnot, but that's what I got started with, a Polaroid Pro telescopic. It's about 11 to 12 feet across, and it's 10 feet high. Cost me about $89 on Amazon. I'll link to that in the description below. No affiliate links, just good info from Brian helping you out, hooking you up, as they say. Now, how about that paper? I mentioned paper. That's Savage photo paper. And you can get it, it comes in a big roll. If you want to do green screen, awesome. You order green paper. If you want to get kind of a cool lifestyle color, like you get a shade of purple or green, maybe a lilac-y thing, Savage photo paper, $69. So not cheap, and all in all, I spent about $600 setting up what you see. And that's one of the disadvantages of this setup. Number two, let's talk about the lights. And the idea is this: you get a bunch of lights to illuminate the paper, okay, the backdrop. And the backdrop is overexposed, and there's more light on the paper than there is on the talent. Now, they call the person in the frame the talent. Now, for me, I've got one primary light this direction, and I've got another fill light here. Now, this light is a 550 LED Lumo or Limo Studio Pro. This light was about $120, and then to light up the backdrop, I've got another set. So this time I've got two Limo or Lumo Studio Pro 500 watt lights. So you can see right here, I've got the light right here. I've got another one here, and notice this one's on my desk. One of the things to consider is it takes an awful lot of space to get this kind of effect. This works fine. It's technically challenging. That's one of the things to think about this kind of a setup. Now, I also have a few other lights. I've got the softbox. I've got a big softbox. This is Cowboy Studio, 9 lights in there. It's a pretty big softbox. And then my fill light. So the subject, you want to have at least 2 lights on the subject. One is the primary light, and then the fill light fills in the shadows. So I've got the fill light here. I've got the primary 550 watt light there. So that's the lighting. All in all, the lighting alone, you're looking at $400 or so, over $400. Again, not cheap, but if you're getting started on YouTube, it's much better to spend money on a whole package. You want to get the lighting, you want to get a backdrop. You don't have to pay to get a backdrop, but certainly, rather than just dumping all your money into a camera, think about all the stuff you need to really craft videos that are technically dialed in, like this one. Now, I mentioned the camera. I'm filming on a Canon 70D. I wanted a camera that had really good autofocus. It does a pretty good job. I can see right now on the screen, it's tracking me. And what I did is really worked with the settings until I had this overexposed. And that, again, is one of the disadvantages of this type of a setup, especially the white background, because it's so very unforgiving. So step number 4 is pretty self-explanatory. It's the setup. You get the paper, you get the backdrop, you hang the paper. Now, another thing you want to include is what's called muslin clamps or muslin clips. If you look, you can probably see it up here, barely. There's one here, and there's another one over here. Step number 5, holy smokes, you can really do a lot with great editing. One of the things I love is I use Final Cut Pro on my Mac, and Final Cut Pro has all kinds of presets and filters and film effects, and there's one film effect called Crisp Contrast. I apply crisp contrast to these videos, and it crisps up, it sharpens the picture, and also boosts the contrast. My black is blacker, the whites are whiter. It's awesome. It just takes a moment to add that to your editing. And the other thing it does is it makes the kinetic text, it makes all the effects I add really pop and stand out. I can step over to one side of the frame, and I can leave room to get these great effects. Lastly, step number 6, let's just talk about the pros and cons. If you're just getting started, I don't recommend this. If you're super committed, if you like this backdrop, well, use this video as a guide, a template that you can use to get the equipment, to get the lights, the backdrop, the paper, all the stuff, the editing hacks and more, but it's pretty technical. If you're just getting started, think about just taking some bookshelves and making a beautiful black backdrop with some bookshelves. I actually do have a video. I'll link to that in the YouTube card. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hey, I got a lot more just like it on video marketing YouTube, and not just sharing your videos on YouTube, but amplifying them to spread and to share, to amplify your message. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the B to the G icon below, and I'll see you on the next video. Poof, pixie dust.